Hey, BrickSorcerer here. Backed by popular demand, we are going to be learning how to make Lego fly, as seen in my Lego Star Wars Duel of the Sith video. This is part 1 of a 2-part tutorial. In this part, we will be learning how to make this, which is the easier version of how to make Lego fly. In part 2, we will be learning how to make this, which looks a lot better but is a little bit more complex. So without further ado, let's begin. One more thing before we start, we will be using 2 programs in this video tutorial. We will be using Paint.net, which is a free program, and we will be using Adobe Premiere Elements. Okay, so here we are in Paint.net. So as you can see, we have this image right here, and the brick is sitting on the ground over here. Make sure that this is a .png file, because if this is a .jpeg file, then you won't be able to remove the background. So first what you're going to want to do is select a box over this brick, go to Image, crop the selection. Loading. Okay, so now it'll be easier to remove the background. We'll be able to be a lot more precise with this. So now, just remove the entire background around this brick. And I'm going to do a time lapse of that. Okay, so we have removed the background to the best of our abilities. Now notice that the brick is a little bit shorter than it was in the image, and also we have this little green background over here. But not to worry, this is the easy way to do it. In part 2, I will show you the more complex way, and it will look a whole lot better. So, let's go into Adobe Premiere Elements and let's insert this. Okay, so we are in Adobe Premiere Elements, so hit Add Media, and then import your files and folders, and then that should go into Project Assets. So we have these 2 files here. We have the raw footage, and then we have the Lego brick image. So let's drag this into video 1, and then let's drag the Lego brick into video 2. Select this, delete the audio, scroll over to here. Now let's hit this, clip this, and then delete this part so that they both end at the same time. I've made that mistake before where we've had 10 seconds of just a black screen at the end. Okay, whoops, not that. So let's slide back to here to time 00. Select the brick. It's all big and stuff, so let's make it small to about the size that it was in the image. So let's say about this size. A little smaller. Okay, there we go. About this size. Now, as you can see, it's not exactly the most realistic that we can get, but not to worry. In part 2, I will show a much more advanced tutorial on how to make it look a lot better. So, as you can see, this is highlighted. We're going to go to Applied Effects, hit Motion, and then as you can see, this is the brick's position right here. These are coordinates, X and Y. We're going to hit Show Hide Keyframe Controls. Now this is the keyframe menu. A keyframe, so hit this button for position. Now this is a keyframe. Now, this keyframe shows that this brick are at these coordinates at this time, 0, 0, 0. So, we're going to keep this here for now. And now we're going to slide over to when the Jedi Knight is raising his arms. So, I'd say right about here. Let's hit another position right here that shows this is at this position at this time. So, as he's raising his arms and then leaning back, we're going to want to move the brick up. So this is the y-axis right here. Let's type this into about 400 so that the brick is floating in the air. Actually, see how it's merging with his hand, let's move this over a little bit. So the x-coordinate is 1289.1. So let's do that, 1289.1. Just moving it over just a little bit. And then next keyframe, 1289.1. Okay, there we go. Now it's not merged with his hand when it floats up. Okay, so let's take a look at this. There we go. So it's floating up. Now that's going to float there for about a second, and then we're going to scroll forward until he kind of thrusts his body forward like this. So right about here, we're going to set it. No, right about here, we're going to set a keyframe, so this is just going to float in midair. And then in the time that it takes for him to thrust his body, this brick is going to fly into the stormtrooper's face, and it's going to hit him right in the helmet. So let's see what this looks like. There we go. So in just a little bit less time than it took to go from here to here, this brick is going to ricochet off of the clone trooper's face. So in just a little bit more time than it took to travel that far, we're going to set a keyframe here, and then we're going to drag this off of the screen like this. So let's see what this looks like. There we go. It's looking better. Now we can make this look really realistic by hitting the rotation animation thing. So here we go. We toggle the keyframe for rotation. So right here at this time, its rotation is 0. So let's go over here and let's set this rotation to 180, about 180. So, which means as it's ricocheting off his face, it's going to twirl around in the air. So let's see what this looks like. Alright, there we go. Now, the clone trooper isn't moving an inch because he's a tough clone trooper and he's not moving anywhere. So that's about it. That's part 1 of this tutorial. Now this is the easy way of doing it, but you won't get as realistic results. Part 2 is coming up in the next video, obviously, so I will see you then.